Okay, fair enough. On that note, we load into game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. We have THC once again versus Play5 or Elysium. No matter what you call them, they are strong from the last game, no doubt about it. And do we see the Invoker ban from THC?
I think we have.
Radiant
Well,
team
actually, no.
ban.
THC have the first pick, so I think they leave it open and force Elysium to ban it, and take it up themselves. If they're not planning to take it up themselves, they have to ban it because that was really strong for them.
No doubt, the global presence from that Invoker, as I say, he played the Invoker like a nature's prophet.
DotA
Split push,
ban.
control, kills. Hell, that little dance around on the top lane behind the tier 2, he kept 5 heroes entertained, survived, and his team got a tier 2/tier 3.
Team ban.
Was certainly impressive. We're going to see the Ember Spirit banned out, the Slark taken away, and that's a slight disappointment for me because I love seeing Slark and Ember played. But they are strong in their own right,
10
so I will
seconds
not
remaining.
doubt that. Banning
Yeah,
Slark, though, is a little interesting.
5 seconds remaining.
What's your view on how Ember Spirit's played? Because I was discussing this with
Reserve
Red Knight on our previous cast. Is like the 15-20 minute point is where you really can see where the game's going with an Ember Spirit.
DotA team ban.
Because
There's the Invoker
what
ban.
we were saying is if he
Radiant
does
team
get
pick.
a core item, maybe if he does get or at least halfway to his Desolator at 15-20 minutes and is able to pick it up, he could really just with that high level, the 4 ranks in Sleight of Fist, he can absolutely nuke everyone down, and it does provide a lot of sieging pressure. But if he doesn't have a core item by that point,
I'll
he's
raise
squishy and has
the
limited
question.
damage.
If you're going at 15 minutes, 4 points Sleight of
5
Fist, I
seconds
would say
remaining.
you are playing the hero incorrectly.
Oh no. Well, okay, see. Obviously,
Reserve time.
you're not going for that Sleight of Fist. But what I'm saying is that once you do start putting this points in Sleight of Fist, one of the common builds I've been seeing is 3 into Flame Guard, 2 into Chains, then max the Sleight of Fist.
Personally, I would max
That's
Flame
the-
Guard and get 3 into chains because the difference between 2 and 3 in chains is an extra is the damage, the extra damage, and I believe duration increases as well between 2 and 3.
I think the duration only changes on the rank 4.
It's between either 2 and 3 or 3 and 4, and I believed it was 2 and 3 for the longest time.
Either way, we're not seeing it.
Mm.
It is elementary, but we do have the clockwork open. So if THC don't want to pick that up, and actually that Dazzle
DotA
pickup
team pick.
was banned in the last phase of the last game. So maybe it's something that THC really do have under their belt, which they do really like to play.
A
we'll
first
see
pick
how they-
Dazzle, though? They are forsaking so many other incredibly strong heroes in this pool. I don't class
The Nyx
Dazzle to be
Assassin.
first pick
DotA team
with the
pick.
territory. Nyx certainly is, but not Dazzle.
Yeah, I do agree with you there, but obviously just remarking on it was a ban from the last game, but definitely not. But then again, that's what we saw out of the last game. It was a leaner first pick. And even the Windrunner, I still don't agree that the Windrunner was that crucial. Obviously, to their game plan, it was really what they wanted to
10
go with,
seconds
but I just
remaining.
don't think it was that necessary. And the Shadow,
Radiant
the
team
Rasta, the
pick.
Shadow Shaman,
We could be
Such a
looking for a
strong-
lot of push here, a
Yeah.
huge amount of push. It should stick into THC's mind right now. They need to start moving around, and THC are going to be going for a
Radiant
very
team
large
ban.
amount of negative armor. Now, still, I don't say Dazzle should be in the first pick. Hell, Nyx is pretty much a direct counter to Dazzle, being able to assassinate him and take him out of the pool, because Dazzle does have quite a high int gain. What does Nyx love? Other high int heroes.
10 seconds remaining.
And what I'd actually like to see being banned
5
out by
seconds
Elysium
remaining.
in these bans is actually to ban out the Lich.
To
'Cause
ban out
I
Lich.
think
Reserve time.
ban out Lich
DotA
because
team ban.
if you just, it's actually going to
Radiant
sink quite a
team
lot,
ban.
and it has been in the DotA2.fr. It was played by Na'Vi up against, I think it was either Fnatic or Sigma, where they played the Slardar and the Lich into the mid lane.
Ah, you mean to play it in a babysitter role?
10
Yes,
seconds
okay, fair
remaining.
enough.
Yeah.
I was wondering where you were going with that, because...
Yeah, and like you
5
babysit
seconds
that
remaining.
like Slardar into the mid. You deny that experience, and then when the time comes,
Reserve
you land
time.
the weave on yourself and you've got frost armor on everyone, it's going to be really, really difficult to bring any of you down.
I misunderstood. I thought you meant THC ban the Lich. I could sort of understand in a way, because if Elysium pick up the Lich, that's going to give them some positive armor and to slow for that Slardar. For them to slow down Slardar's right clicks on a target, which I could certainly see being a very valuable thing. Ban out on the Doom, Pugner, and Visage, though. I do like the Visage ban. Visage ban is a very wise one, considering the amount of negative armor on the table, and he's a natural medallion carrier.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there, because if they got that minus armor onto the Shallow Shaman, and if there was just 2 Visage birds at level 2, that Shadow Shaman's dead.
I will equally say a
no
Weaver ban would be wise from THC, but it might be a little bit late now. Oh, sorry, from Elysium. They're going to ban the Naga instead.
They're going to ban out the Naga. So if they do pick up the Lich here, we'll be expecting to see the Slardar into the mid at least. However, like taking up the Dazzle and the Slardar and maxing out that like Shadow Grave just so the Slardar can die. Because one of the problems is when dive. When you do play the Slardar with the sprint, you can run you can get really far away from your supports, and the Dazzle is not going to have the movement speed to be able to catch up with you, so we'll need to level the Shadow Grave up.
Well, based on Elysium's draft so far, I would like to see them pick up a Lich and either play him in a babysitter or an offlane role. I would very, very much like to see, if not the Lich, a Weaver pick up for that offlane, which will deny THC access to the Weaver, because Weaver, of all the heroes, loves negative armor.
Yeah.
Elysium could also go for something along the line of DK to an extent, since he would be able to stand up a little bit easier than, say, Slardar. Than any of the other heroes due to the armor he gains. However, we're seeing the Disruptor pick up. This could technically work, but he needs to be on the ball with the Static Storms.
Yeah, I think not the Static Storm is necessary to land, but that Slardar running in glimpse away.
Team pick.
And if he doesn't get that blink and is able to blink crush the Disruptor, I don't think the sort of initiation is really going to be able to be there for THC, especially picking up a Tinker, who's you can't like blink into 5 heroes and Hex. It's just not feasible for you.
I like the Storm pickup. I really do like the Storm pickup, but Tinker sort of raises question marks in my mind. What does Tinker gain from being combined with Dazzle and with Slardar? Slardar can give him vision so the rockets can hit a target, sure. Completely agree with that, but Tinker doesn't really gain too much from negative armor. The March of the Machines, I believe, is composite damage. So it'll gain a small amount from that, but other than that, Tinker doesn't really help out with the negative armor strat.
No,
5 seconds remaining.
I think I actually am not sure as to the reason behind the Tinker.
Reserve time.
Maybe worried about the push, but they're just gonna set up the Serpent Wards, and yeah, the March of the Machines doesn't do any damage to that, and the Beastmaster.
Dire team ban.
This doesn't sit right in my mind. The Beastmaster, sure, he can stun at a target, but that's one target. His axes, again, composite damage. But where is their massive right-click coming from? All they've got is the Slardar that massively benefits from this negative armor right now. Where is the Weaver? If they had picked up a Weaver instead of a Tinker, sure, I can completely get behind their strategy. They could then put the Beastmaster in the mid lane against the Storm Spirit, which isn't massively good for the Beastmaster, but it can work. And we're seeing an Enigma ban out for the final ban of Elysium. I don't know, maybe THC knows something that we don't, but this doesn't sit right currently, draft-wise.
No, I completely agree with you. I'm really at a loss of really how they're
10 seconds remaining.
trying to go with this.
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, this might be something that we could ask one of the players after the game is over, but where do they go with their last ban? What can they really use it for? I mean, from Elysium right now, they have Storm Spirit's initiation power. They've got
10 seconds
Disruptor and
remaining.
his mass control. Shadow Shaman is pushing and mass control.
5
They
seconds remaining.
could... Okay, they're going to ban at Gyrocopter. And we've got Nyx
Dire
Assassin
team
again for control and initiation. They've got all the initiation right now. They just need some extra damage to back it up. Personally, I could say go with a Lycan and just push things down. They've got enough control for a Lycan to be viable. Lycan will also shred the towers and shred all of the CC'd heroes. Lycan can also, to an extent, stand up against a Slardar.
Yeah,
10 seconds remaining.
especially those walls, and without something like a Lich
5
who would
seconds
have been able
remaining.
to slow them down, I don't think the control's really there for them.
Reserve
You've
time.
got a slow, you've got a stun, and you've got a blind, and then that one stun from the Beastmaster. It's nowhere near enough to be able to lock down a Lycan. Especially if the slow's not going to mean anything to him.
Right now for THC, the one saving grace in my mind would be to pick up a Silencer. Because it would interrupt the entire control chain coming out of Elysium. I can't think of any other viable route. They could pick up a Tide and rely on Slardar's damage. They could pick up an ES at a push, but ES would need to get in close and he could be walking into a Static Storm or any form of the other CCs. Tide is at least tanky enough to survive the Nyx's burst when he's got a few points up in Kraken.
I would even go as far to say that THC need to go ultra greedy, and because they don't have enough sort of a strong enough late game. Because a Tinker, you stall it out because you're stronger towards the late.
10
But
seconds
they have
remaining.
nothing that could even. They've got nothing to combat a Lifestealer.
Radiant
I
team
think
pick.
they really need to, even just if it's stupidly greedy, but send Tinker into the jungle, and pick maybe send Slardar into the mid, Beastmaster into the off, and then take a better carry. Because there is no late game potential up against the squad of Elysium with the Storm Nyx jump in, or the Nyx Nyx and
10
Nakes
seconds
jump
remaining.
around. Right, okay, that's everything.
What in Divinity's Edge is going on here? Axe doesn't bring enough control to... Okay, I'm going to say this much. My money, my Dota money is on Elysium. If Elysium lose this,
Prepare for battle.
something is massively wrong.
So, are you placing all of your rares on Elysium?
My rares are on Elysium.
Okay, then. With that note, I will introduce the players from Elysium. We have Marcel Patel.
Marcel.
onto the Nyx Assassin. We have Krabs onto the Disruptor. Magma on. It was Magma on the mid last game, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, they do like to switch it around a little bit.
Oh, this time we have
Magma
Magma on the
onto-
Lifestealer.
Yeah, we've got Magma on the Lifestealer, and then Magic onto that Storm Spirit, and Laplace onto the Rasta Shadow Shaman.
On the flip
Talking
side
about
of
that.
this, we have
30 seconds
for
to battle.
THC, Rise on the off-lane Beastmaster. We've got Philix onto the Anchor mid. In the jungle, we have Fabrice Santoro on the Axe. Zol on the Dazzle. And finally, making up the last member of the team, Nulus or Nolus, or however you pronounce that name, on the starter of the
I'm
bot
just
lane.
going Nul.
Null.
The battle
Null will
begins
do.
for good.
We have
and all.
Null on the Slardar.
Nul. And this is
Double
nice.
damage.
Straight away, the Ancients are blocked.
One of the
this
wisest
is
things
really
to do
nice.
when you see a Tinker.
Yeah. Even a Beastmaster as well.
Very true. Beastmaster as well. Cannot not mention the Beastmaster with his ancient stacking abilities.
Yeah, so this is really nice perception coming out of Elysium, just to be able to predict how this is going to go. What I would have really liked to see was them place a ward on the Magic Bush into the Radiant jungle, just to block off those two camps for the Axe.
These are actually very interesting lanes coming out of Elysium. They're not running the Storm Spirit one-on-one against the Tinker. They're actually going dual mid with the Storm Spirit by the Shadow Shaman and the Lifestealer. versus a Tinker, which to an extent can work. One misstep from Philix, and he's going to get CC'd out by Lepois and shredded by Magma. We're already going to see points in Rage come up very early, I should think, or Open Wound should definitely be at level 2, Rage at level 3.
Yeah.
Personally, I wouldn't say get Feast at level 1. It doesn't bring anything to the table, especially when you've got a Shadow Shaman and the ability to be aggressive. Bryce, however, is trading blows with the crabs up in the jungle.
One of the things that I think is why he did take the Feast first is he and the Shadow Shaman did take the Ether Shock, so really not going to be able to fulfill much damage on that front.
But Ether Shock, again, level 1 ability, it's not that good. Take, for example, Shackles. That's a nearly 3-second duration control versus 140 damage on one target. I'd prefer the 3 seconds of control, effectively. 300? Where did I get that from? But we are already seeing much of the machine spam to try to force Magma out.
Yeah. But at this low level, it really doesn't accomplish that much, as he just walks away. His creeps are not even going to take that much damage, and with the Feast levels, he can tank it under the tower.
I don't know, just certain things this game are just not adding up in my mind. On the flip side of the coin, for the odd lanes, we do have Magic on the Storm Spirit up top with a Disruptor against a Beastmaster. This can potentially work out very easily for Magic here. He'll find all the experience and gold he wants. He'll get a very fast Orchid Malevolence, should everything go the way I think it's going to go. And then we're just going to be looking for those jumps onto the Tinker and stop him being Tinker, effectively. If Tinker can't get Boots of Travels early enough, he is effectively a useless hero in this game, and Lepoisa will find himself in the Regeneration Room and continue to be a pest in his mid lane. Now,
one of the things to note that I want to see what this axe is going to do, because if he gets a fast Blink Dagger and just goes around Blink and Berserker, using the Berserker's Call to lock the players down, there's really very little that they can do about this. We are going to see a attempt going onto the Nyx Assassin, but the Poison Touch not enough, and not enough levels in Sprint to be able to catch up. And I don't really advocate taking that one level in Bash at level 1 over taking an extra level in the Sprint.
An extra level, you can get away with only 1 point in the Sprint the entire time, but extra points in Bash is a much better ability if it's leveled up fast. I mean, you can get away with 1 point Slithering Crush, but Slaughter's one of those things that, even with the pros, you see different pros do different builds. I've seen pros go along the line of 1-1-4 and sometimes 1-4-1. You get the idea. It varies a lot. But you only generally need the 1 point in Sprint to catch up.
Personally, I do prefer the... what I've been doing is I don't actually level Bash whatsoever. Until you have amplified damage, the bonus damage really isn't really that effective. Obviously, since it was changed, so it was physical. Same with Slithering Crush. But you just can be kited too easily, and an extra 24 movement speed is pretty, and just push you into a haste room level. Lifestead are doing a nice job of just trying to even just pseudo denying this Tinker, as the Tinker really running low on these last hits. Just sitting at 7-4 versus a 21 and 6 lifestealer.
Well, I can't see Tinker getting effectively any farm this game. Magma's just got too much control on this mid lane, so Tinker's forced to look for Ancients, will find it's blocked. Well, it was blocked.
And we are going to see a move up towards the Beastmaster. No Hawk out. And just going to
get shredded effectively.
Yeah, the glimpse is still online. But they're going to see if he's able to get anything, but the glimpse is send the axe back.
On behalf of storms everywhere.
And the first bud for the storm is he's already got a Oblivion staff if he so wishes, and
well, Fabrice will manage to bring down Lepois
to
the
dot,
but
I don't think you can't actually deny Berserker's
No, you cannot deny under Berserker's Call. It's an impossibility. One of a few dots that you can't.
Quite an odd one, really. I think it's mainly because you can cancel it out yourself with a last hit.
True, it's I believe it's counted as a physical dot, and physical dots you can't deny. Earn, for example, I don't think you can deny.
No.
The other one is Dazzle, actually. Dazzle's poison touch you can't deny, to my knowledge.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure about that one. I think you can. But I'm going to say a haste onto the Lifestealer in the mid lane, and if they can get a shackle onto the Tinker, they will be able to kick last yet.
They won't even need the shackle.
Yeah, the laser was used. The laser was used onto Shadow Shaman, who's just gonna die.
But Fabrice will just start spinning. This is what's scary about Axe. If he comes in at the right angles and starts getting things hit him, won't manage to bring down the Lifestealer, but does find himself a Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, they didn't have enough mana to be able to throw out that Battle Hunger. But I was actually quite surprised that Magma decided just to jump out of that creep immediately. He did give more of a chance for the Axe to, kill him. Though I suppose if he had waited, the Axe might have got enough mana to be able to Battle Hunger. So, all in all, an effective theory crafting aside, survived. That's what was required of him.
Well, taking a look around the map, Magic already has himself a hand of Midas, which is pretty good timing for him. He's had it for a good 50 seconds already.
Yeah, so not going straight for that Oblivion Staff into the Orchid, just going for a bit more greed, but it's perfectly fine in this situation.
It's going to get him levels majoritively as well, which is the important thing. But now, well, we got Bryce up here as well as Fabrice again, and now they're going to look for Krabs. Krabs does take the dot and some damage. The Roar is there as well. He's going to get dragged back, and Bryce will manage to pick up one kill. Sorry, the Berserker's Call, not Roar. Wrong spell called. Poise will, however, suffer a dot from...
But, however, we do now have the Roar up. And Axe is potentially going to be looping around onto his top lane. With the low health onto the Battle Hunger is just absolutely brutal. It will be able to kill the Shadow Shaman, as the Shadow Shaman didn't get the last. Just using the Culling Blade purely for dunk. The style points there.
To be fair, he needed the movement speed from the Culling Blade to escape the Storm Spirit, so completely understandable Cull Blade drop. It gives quite a nice movement speed bonus under the effect of Culling Blade.
We do have the next assassin just standing in between the towers.
Well, he's looking to kill Tinker. Tinker's got one of the higher int gains in the pool for what we see in this game. 2.2 int gain versus, I think there's 3.4. Yeah, 3.4 on Dazzle. But Nick's being a very good pickup here.
Yeah, a decent perception coming out of Tinker just saying, no, I don't want to move out. And actually played quite safe there. And was able to live because of it. If he moved out, I might get that stun into the next assassin. And the Battle Hunger always going out in that Shadow Shaman.
Completely understandable considering his HP, but now they're going to look for some damage on Magma. The wards will drop. They're trying to bring down the Axe. Not the easiest target to bring down. The Cold will drop, but wasn't the lethal marker. Now, they're focusing everything on an Axe. An Axe is innately tanky. I'm not sure why you would do that. And look at the Axe. He's not even built for anything excessively expensive yet. I would like to see a mechanism on him. I would like to see potentially Arcanes. He did go for the Tranks instead. Now we're looking for the loop round. We do have the Vendetta popped. He's looking for Philix, and Philix will not get killed here because the air pulls are stunned completely. The Shallow Grave is there. If that stun would have landed, Philix would be dead right about now. And right at this point, Marcel is regretting his decision as he is cleaned up by the Megas kill streak on the Axe. I could be losing all my rares here. Come on, guys, pull it together.
This Axe he's really playing it brilliantly. Obviously, if you do play with an Axe in a pub, he'll just sit and AFK in the jungle and get something stupid, like try and get a Bloodstone or something like that. But no, he's really making a presence for himself early, maxing out that Battle Hunger, and it's just actually a massive amount of damage. It's a 450 damage over the whole duration, and the Axe will be sped up, and you are slowed down. So it's actually a massive amount there, and the Roar does go out onto the Storm Spirit.
And they will manage to turn around and get a Canticle on Bryce. Now they're going to look for Krabs. Krabs does have that battle hunger on him. Can they find Fabrice and kill him off? I don't think they can. Glimpse is there, though. Maybe they can get him. The static storm... Sorry, the trap is there, and Fabrice should take a fall here. Lifestealer will pick up the kill. That's 656 gold going Magma's way.
Disruptor had a creep to deny here. Could have denied that creep and survived that.
Aye, but they will find Zol, who came in after everyone had died for some reason. The use of wards I find maybe a little bit excessive.
Something I would actually like to point out is the reason the Disruptor lived so long. The open wounds went out onto the Beastmaster inside the Static Storm. And he healed up a great deal before the Axe was able to close the distance.
On the flip side of this coin, let's take a look at Slardar right now. He's got a casual Ring of Health, which I'm wondering what he's going to do with this.
I actually see a lot of Slardars do this, because they are a melee,
tower is under attack.
and they do struggle to harassment.
I don't know. I like to see things picked up that are going to be built into other things. Maybe he could have picked up a Ring of Regen and got a Vladimir's, but there's only him and the Axe that are melee on the team, plus the Beastmaster. So Vladimir's isn't really a massive bonus. They could personally see a Lincoln's picked up, as they will find Bryce on the top lane, while I'm talking about the Slardar. That's an easy kill for them. But in comes the Axe. He wants to find Lacois again. Do we have the Culling Blade?
Rotated in.
In comes Nick's Assassin. That's a big three-man stun from Nolus. But in comes the Static Storm. Can they find anyone else? Zol will get focused here, but this fight has gone sideways for Elysium. They're currently 4-for-1 disadvantage to THC from that one fight. Good rotations in from the Slardar, from the Shadow... Not Shadow Shaman, from the Dazzle, words failing me. And now we're going to see what Nolus is going to pick up. He has that Blink Dagger, and now he's got 1,200 gold in the Hitty once more. Could he pick up a Vanguard? I'm hoping we don't see a Vanguard with that Ring of Health.
What you're seeing is the mechanism coming out for this Axe.
Oh, I'm a happy man. I'm a very happy man.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
We are going to see the Wraith build coming out of the
open moves up onto the Axe.
He does have that Yasha coming out for him, and the call doesn't actually affect the magic immune targets.
No, it doesn't. And right now, Crab's getting jumped on by that Slardar. This is where Slardar is his strongest. When he has that Blink Dagger up for the first few levels, he can start just being a constant pest, but he will go down to the Infest combination with a Vendetta. Now they're looking for Bryce. Good body blocking by Magic. Do they have a stun for him? 2 seconds, 6 seconds even? But Lapoise is there to finish up with a long range shackle. That's a 3-for-1 trade back in favour of Elysium. Trade after trade. These teams are just finding the kills one after another for each other.
Yeah, they're just dangling your rares in front of your face, saying, we could let you have them, or we could not.
You're an evil man. Stop that.
But we do have the Boots of Travel out for the Tinker, which, although quite slow, is still a decent timing based on the pressure he was under into the middle lane.
And he's going to start looking to push these lanes with March of the Machines. He's already got his Soul Ring a long time ago, so this should be no longer an issue for him. He should be looking to push out as much as possible.
One of the things that I often say about a Tinker is that he takes the farm of 3 lanes, which often debilitates how your team progresses into the mid to later game.
Dire's middle
But
tower
they've
is
just
all
got
alone in the
a
world.
ganked roaming
Being
lineup.
attacked.
So this Tinker's really not going to debilitate them that much. Oh, and the glimpse used on the Axe teething up to the top lane, that is just not what you want to have.
Oh, that's an evil thing to do, and I quite like to see it. Good use of glimpse. And, well, skill build wise, this is what I like to see from a Disruptor. 4 points up in glimpse. The range is obscene, 1,800.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's longer than a hook. If someone's running away from you, you're better off with a Disruptor rather than a Pudge. Especially as his Thunderstrike does give you the vision of the area.
I would say depends on the hook. Clockwork, 3,000 range.
I was talking about Pudge.
Yeah, I realise. I realise.
And Disruptor brings the hero back to you. Clockwork goes in. So if a Clockwork is pulling off a 2,000 range hook, your team is still a bit away.
Yeah, I suffered with that last night, but we'll discuss that another time. But top tier 1 now under pressure for THC. Are they going to respond or are they going to let this fall? But in comes the Storm Spirit. Short range jump will manage to bring down Bryce. The Vendetta Mix is here as well. He should have just been shown under the tower. But there is no other defense coming out of Elysium so far. No TPs either. Instead, they're all mid.
Yeah. It's going to be a BKB coming out for the Slardar, which will be really
that's
nice.
not good for the
And
Radiant.
it's why people never used
Radiant
to pick up a
structures are
Disruptor,
fortified.
because he
That
was
means you
completely
can't
countered
hurt
by a
him right now.
BKB. And they are just running
Radiant's
circles
top
around this
tower
Nexus
is under
Captain.
attack.
And we'll be able to be
About
kicked
time.
off with the Cullen Blade very shortly. Actually, not even needed. The Tinker Rockets will be able to pick him off.
They never miss.
Indeed,
Radiant's
but
top
now we've
tower
got
is
the
under
wards
attack.
dropped and pressure on the tower. But all these wards are going to get cleaned up by the relatively high armor, 9 armor on that Slardar.
I actually never knew the Slardar had actually this sort of decent armor game.
Uh,
It's quite surprising.
I believe Slardar at level 1 has, I want to say, 6 armor. We do have mass items picked up. Orchid Malevolence for the Storm Spirit, Arcane Boots for the Dazzle, and finally that Mechanism finished up for that Axe. The mech timing is pretty decent.
Yeah, this is going to be really, really nice, especially up against the Orchid coming out from the Storm Spirit. Yeah, you can jump in and you can get that Orchid off, but there's going to be a mech and it's going to at least save the target. He won't be able to participate in the later fight, but he will live.
Indeed, and now we've got Magma continuing just to farm up. He's going for the full Sanj and Yasha. But we're seeing more of the race car build than what I would normally like to see on a Lifestealer. Personally, in this game, I would even go far as to say an Orchid Malevolence on the Lifestealer would equally be a very good thing because of the Tinker.
The Dire's top tower is doing its
Yeah,
best,
I
but
do.
it doesn't
I
look good.
thoroughly agree with you there. They've got 4 heroes bottom up against this trying to kill this Tinker, and he knows.
But they're not going to find
Dire's
him.
middle
He's already
tower is
gone.
under
Magma
attack.
just lost
Yeah.
half
It
his
has no
HP
arms
diving
to
into
defend
a
itself.
marching machine for nothing. And, well, we
Dire's
have
top
top
tower
tier
has
1
fallen.
going down
It
in
was
favour
only
of
a matter of
THC,
time.
first tower of the game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And now they're going to try to jump in.
The
Felix does go down.
Get nuked down straight away.
Yeah, Bryce will drop his Roar, but Roar will unfortunately find nothing, and Bryce could take a fall here, but in comes the Slardar. Magic under a lot of pressure now. One more right click will clean that up. Down goes the Storm Spirit. You got to respect that negative armor. Now they're looking for Sol, but Magma's now in trouble. He's got everyone on him. Stun again from that Slardar, and a heal comes through from the Dazzle to clean that up. Again, physical damage. All of this loves the negative armor.
Yeah. The Shadow Wave, absolutely brutal when you are surrounding that target, and even more just with that negative armor coming out of the Slardar, like you were
Dire's
saying.
top tower is under attack.
You must respect the Dazzle. Either kill him quickly or silence him.
Not
Dire's
only
bottom
has he
tower
got
is
just
under
that
attack.
massive amount of damage from the weave, he's got that terrifyingly annoying slow from the poison touch.
And down goes Krabs, gets to that damage.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Run, little bottom tower. Run.
Pull this together, guys. I want to keep my rares.
It really
Dire's
pulls into
bottom tower
effect
has
the fact
fallen.
that,
It was a
brings
valiant
you
effort.
into the
Dire's top
thinking
tower
that
is under
Dazzle
attack.
can
Oh,
one
that's
shot
good
on
to hurt. Dire's
anti-mage if he's
structures are
farming a
fortified.
large wave.
Radiant's middle tower is
That's
under
an
attack.
incredible thing
That's
to
not
think
good.
about.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Indeed
attack.
it is. But
We do see the Nexus Assassin in the Vendetta just walking around these heroes.
only a level 1 Vendetta, it's not going to last a massive amount of time either. You need to be very careful with this. In come the TPs, we've got a 4v4 scenario. Double stun does come out, and in comes the Storm Spirit to clean up that Dazzle. That's what they need to do, kill the Dazzle quickly. And perfect drop from the Dazzle with that, but BKB is active for Noel now, and this is not good for them.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Will they manage to bring down the Axe? I don't think so, but nice ward trap there by the Shadow
beautiful
Shaman.
trap.
And Null now is in a lot of trouble as the Axe will take a fall to Magma. Magma actually cleans up too, but will go down to the March of the Machines, and Felix will find the escape here, surely. Can he escape? No, he didn't TP out in time. He's caught and going to be shredded. All it'll take is one more Ether Shock, and, well, that's the end of that. That's a 5-for-2 trade in favour of Elysium.
Can you feel your rares coming back to you?
They're about just out of my reach right now. I'm still feeling uncertain. The draft doesn't make sense, but THC have played this game very well so far, rotating at the right times, and Elysium are taking fights they shouldn't.
One of the things to point out, the mechanism for the
And Storm, long-range jump, will find Zol. The Orchid is just doing work, and that's another kill going the way of Magic.
yeah, that's really what is the biggest fear when the Storm Spirit gets that Orchid. It's that you can't just play by yourself.
Aye, otherwise Storm will just TP nearby, ball lightning into you, and, well, from there, you're doomed.
We're running close to being able to pick up what I assume would be a Blink Dagger for this axe. With the no mana cost, it is really a cost-efficient item on him. Get up close for that call, because you're not losing that mana which you really desperately need for your cutting blade.
I would agree, yeah. Blink Dagger would be the item of choice for axe here. That or a Force Staff. Speaking of Force Staffs, we do see a Force Staff coming up for Lapoise on that Shadow Shaman. Very, he already fleet. That's just after the last team fight, and there's the Force Staff forward. Going to find the Earthshock, and that's a questionable time to pause.
And the worst thing, what I think it was something Sing Sing said on his stream. The worst thing about a pause is people get to think about what they're doing instead of reacting.
Yeah, right now I can see exactly how this is going to go. Right here, Slatter's going to come forward. Sprint will go active as soon as this pause goes down. He's going to blink in on top of crabs if they can see him from here, which they should be able to do. And he's going to try to assassinate the Disruptor before he manages to get off a good Static Storm. But they realise disengaging is the wisest idea.
Yeah, I really like that decision. They were like, right, and instantly into smoke. This is really smart coming out from them. They think, right, we've made them think we don't want that.
Double
and although there are
damage.
no wards, I do question the decision to pick up that double damage rune. If there was a ward there, he was
Dire's
scouted
middle
and that
tower is
smoke
under
was
attack.
all for naught.
It has no arms to
And
defend
they're just going to
itself.
trade a tower for that smoke.
Well, a tower for effectively what will be a tower on the bot lane, but still,
Yeah.
Elysium need
Dire's
to
middle
think
tower has fallen.
carefully about how they want to approach
The
this.
Radiant's bottom
Tower for a tower
has
is
seen better
fine,
days.
but there is a Tinker present on the map. Losing towers, Tinker
Radiant's
can
bottom
push
tower
harder.
has fallen, and I don't mean in love.
He can, especially if that Tinker gets a Blink Dagger. 'Cause then he'll just TP in, which he already does have. He'll just TP in,
Yeah.
blink off into the trees, and drop too much on the machines, then TP out.
And we're 50 gold off what I assume will
Radiant's
be the
bottom
Blink Dagger
tower
for this
is under attack.
axe.
Well, Vendetta, Nyx, looking for what he can find. Bryce could be in a lot of trouble here, especially if he's stopped from getting to this team fight. Meantime, bot lane, we do have a bit of a, well, fight going on for the bot lane. Nyx Assassin can't kill him, but with magic, they can. However, Dazzle is present. Sol won't let this go down.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Marcel
under
will most
attack.
likely pay for this with his life. Especially with the Culling Blade drop. And a nice taunt will catch Magic as well. In comes the support from the Slider. That's a questionable crush, as Magic will zip away.
I think his Blink Dagger must have been on cooldown because he, or at least he must have been hit before, because he tried to cue that hit, but just not using the items in the right order. And there is the Blink Dagger coming up with the axe, which I really like to see.
But a tier 2 on the bot lane did go down in favour of Elysium. So let's take this opportunity to look at the graphs. We've got 1,000 gold advantage. 1,000 experience advantage for THC. On the flip side of this coin, though, gold-wise, what was a 5k lead coming down rapidly towards 1,000 for THC. Elysium are clawing this back quite drastically.
And what I was saying is there is no late game to deal with this lifesteal and the Storm Spirit.
No, the Storm Spirit will just shred Tinker in the late game. As much as Tinker is a very effective hero, late game, if Storm gets on top of anyone, Storm will have a field day.
And you've got the 3 strength heroes in the Beastmaster, Slarder, and the Axe, which the Lifestealers is going to have a field day with.
Now, I'm going to use this opportunity while we've got no fights. As I say that, we do have everyone milling around in the smoke. Thank you, THC.
The smoke was popped on the Beastmaster, and they will return it.
True, and Raw will go out onto Marcel. He's going to get completely shredded as there's the taunt, and that'll be the end of Nyx. But in the meantime, Magic and crew tearing THC to pieces. Now they're looking for the axe. Can they find him? They should be able to. There's no way he's going to survive this. And Krabs should go down here to that one rocket that's coming through. Yes, he will. So now we're in a 2v2 scenario. We've got a Tinker and a Slarder versus a Lifestealer and a Storm Spirit.
Surprisingly, I am amazed how well THC were able to pull that fight back to end it for a 3-for-3. The mechanism went on the axe alone, and I think it was the Master and the Dazzle died without getting a single spell off through the Storm Spirit and the Static Storm. So I think they really do have to be quite fearful of this Tinker right now, because that fight really took place mainly in the Marching Machine and completely just wrecked their chances of a sort of solid win in that fight.
Well, speaking of the Tinker, he's just picked himself up components for a Aghanims. Now, Tinker Aghanims is a new thing with 6.78.
I love this.
I have nightmares of this on a regular basis.
Personally, I think it is better than getting Max March, because the creep wave can be killed, but the heroes can still just brute force it whenever the march isn't there. But if you send those heroes back to the base, that's better than delaying it. They're gone. You can start to push out then. We do have a nice and aggressive ward here, which will just scout the movement between this tower. Actually, the bottom tower is empty, so...
Dire's middle tower is all alone in the world.
Empty, by empty, I mean gone.
Well, what I will point out here, we have Aghanims components coming up for crabs on the Disruptor.
Yep.
That is going to be scary. That's AoE Doom, and now we've got a Blink coming forward onto Fabrice. He's in a lot of trouble, considering... Hello there, Nyx Assassin, and as well as the Nakes. But in comes a long-range jump, looking to bring down Zol. Magic in the BKB as well, so the Roar will be enough to disable him. And now in comes the Static Storm. Null will use his BKB of his own to try to deal with Lapoise as he can. One more right-click will seal it, and now he's looking for Crabs. One right-click on Crabs should kill him here. The stun will miss, though. Krabs has an opportunity to survive, but getting blocked out by his own teammate, and Magma should be able to clean this up. In comes Tinker, however. He needs to blink dagger away. He did get slowed out as the rockets start to fly. This is risky, walking through the March of the Machines like this. Can he find Felix? The laser should disable him.
That was brilliant play with the Beastmaster Hawk, just to give him vision of where the heroes are moving. He was able to just plan his next move. We do see an El Sulcurias coming out now for the Lifestealer, so the Slada really needs to to get this amplified damage on him, otherwise the damage is really not going to be there.
What Magma needs to do, though, is get himself an MKB.
Yeah. Does it work versus... I'm not sure if it works versus the laser.
It does work versus laser.
I thought it worked versus evasion, but not blind.
It works against all mischance. This is why you pick up an MKB if you're against a Brewmaster, for example.
Yeah.
You've got to respect the mischance, and picking up an MKB will be the next logical choice.
Yeah.
Especially because that MKB would also have cancelled that Boot of Travel TP. In comes the Taunt from the Axe, doing good damage, but the Glimpse will send him away. However, damage comes through from Felix and Bryce. Bryce, however, is caught in the Static Storm and should get shredded here by Magma. Now Axe is back in the mix. Can they bring down Fabrice? I don't think so. He is far too tanky, far too much armor. Forced stuff onto Magma, taking him further into no man's land, and he should go down here. Yes, he will.
And I'm not sure if you were watching it, but
not so radiant anymore, it turns out.
Running round in circles.
I saw that. He was confused with what to do. But the rest of his team have decided, we'll take your tier 1 top lane, and we shall see your tier 2 as well. Hell, they could technically take down this tier 2 if they want to hang around, and they will, considering there are no TPs back yet. Tinker coming to the tier 3, but this tower should fall in no time at all.
In place.
Yeah, the tower will fall, but they're just going to trade it, and I think the Roshan pressure really could come into effect here. Because they can just jump straight into the Roshan with the blinks on the Axe and the Slada.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. It has no arm. Dire's middle tower now belongs to the Aegis.
Well, I would still say...
Yeah, there we go. Or maybe not.
No, it's not going to be a Roshan attempt, not with this close to Storm Spirit here. They saw the Storm Spirit fall back.
Main reason I would have considered it is the minus armor that you're going to get out from the Slada, and the Lifestealer still isn't back up.
True, they can kill it quickly, I will not doubt that, but doing so is risky when they know Storm had backed off at least into the Fog of War from the top lane.
Yeah. Okay. I think there was a possibility, but with this sort of closer game, it's better to err on the side of caution. And with the golden experience grass now actually going the way of Elysium.
Well, we do have a AC coming up for Knowles on that Slardar. It's certainly going to be an effective item choice for him. What do you want when you've got negative armor in the spades? You want more negative armor?
I want to see a Deso.
That's too much. There is a hard cap on how much negative armor takes effect. They're already at it.
Alright.
With that AC.
Yeah, definitely. I completely forgot about the weave as well.
Yeah, you've got to remember Weave. Weave plus Slardar is enough on its own on one target, but throwing in AC, Weave plus AC, I believe, takes everyone to the negative 30.
Yeah, and you've also got the AC, which will affect the towers as well.
Mm.
What would you like to see out of the Slardar right now? For me, I actually would like to see a Mjolnir.
Mjolnir would be okay, however, I would much prefer see potentially an MKB coming out of him. I mean, there is a possibility, and it's a long shot, if we see an MKB coming up for the Lifestealer. Lifestealer could, and this is what I would personally do, split that Sanj and Yasha and pick up a Heaven's Halberd.
Yeah. I think is that what the Beastmaster is heading to? They will jump onto the Shadow Shaman.
They'll blow him up, there's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you say, we're seeing a Heaven's Halberd come up towards Beastmaster as well. I doubt that's a Sanj and Yasha. It is Roshan time. He should die pretty damn sharpish as soon as the negative armor is put up by Slar.
Maybe. Nope.
We do, however, have an Aghanims present now by Disruptor, so AoE Doom is available.
Weave is used, so they are going to get all very, very tanky.
A big stun coming through. That Impale is massive, but the Slardar does manage to pick up the Aegis in time.
Brave is used.
True, but now, well, axes start chopping. Everyone is fighting in that static field, though. Nos has taken a huge amount of damage, but he doesn't care. He has that Aegis, even. Words failing me, as Magma should take a fall here. That's a double kill for Sontaro.
You get nothing. Good day, sir.
And hell, one more Blink Dagger fall from Axe for the hell of it. Not quite finding the stun from the Slardar, but now, well, Lepois came too far forward, and he's going to get initiated on. He'll melt under the damage. Hell, there's even a Blaze Mail on the Axe, but in comes Magic, forcing that Aegis pop. Can they find anything else to counter this? No, that's a far too early Impale coming out of the Nyx.
It was a really nice Grave coming out of the Dazzle to save the Axe from the Orchid blow up. And the Lifestealer hating the middle of that map.
Clearly. The fact, I believe he's signaling the fact that one of their team members got blown up there. I believe it was the Shadow Shaman. They've got to be very careful, and they need some vision there.
Obviously, with the changes to smoke, vision wasn't helping whatsoever.
Completely agreed.
I love that change to the way they changed smoke. I just thought it really separated the people who knew how to spam wards and people who had real game sense.
Indeed, hands down. I'm looking at the lineup for THC right now, and I'm seeing the Yules pick up by Dazzle, which is a very nice choice. I'm seeing Heaven's Halberd, which is by far one of the best choices, at least until the MKB comes up. And with
no, I don't actually. No. The Heaven's Halberd doesn't make a difference with the MKB.
I know, and that's why I say at least until the MKB comes up. Rage will remove the Heaven's Halberd effect. Magic Immunity takes away Heaven's Halberd, so the Heaven's Halberd evasion is nice until the MKB is present. Which is why I like Bryce's pickup so much. And it will still work against the Nyx Assassin and the Storm Spirit.
Yeah. Obviously, because the thing is, I think the Rage really... I think they're going to wait for the Rage to be used before they use the Heaven's Halberd.
That would be the smart play, yes.
Yeah, because then you've got upwards of 10 seconds where he cannot disable. The Storm Spirit is visible.
No, he's not. He's hiding in the fog. The fog's easy enough. But now they're going to jump onto Bryce. Bryce going to get locked down. The Orchid is dead. They have enough damage to finish him off. They should do. But in comes the Axe. The Taunt is there. And all of that damage. Down goes Magic. And Knowles is here with a DD rune, shredding Lepois with right click after right click. Now looking for anything else. But on the flip side of this coin, down goes Felix. Bryce is still hanging around on very low HP, but down goes the Nyx Assassin. Knowles on a double kill. Can they find Bryce? One more right click from the Slardar, from anyone should do it. And now they're going to look for Fabrice. Fabrice, the tanky one himself, should be able to get killed off here. Now only standing at the Slardar. That is a 5-for-2 team wipe in favour of Elysium.
That was a really nice buyback coming out of the Storm Spirit. That changed the entire fight around.
And we have a basher present for Magma. He not going for an MKB. I'm not sure how much I like that.
I don't think the mischance really is that much of a crucial thing for him, as he can just rage out of it.
True, but also brings mini bashes to the
That's
table.
not good for the Radiant.
An axe will buy back, but can they hold this? I don't think they can. The Weaver's there, the armor's dropping. Slardar buying back as well now does cause problems.
Yeah. The thing is, you trade a mini bash for an actual skull bash.
I don't know. I still feel that whenever the damage of the evasion is present, a MKB does become quite viable. True strike, nice. A small amount of attack speed, nice. 88 damage, I want to say. Very nice.
And also on the mini bash is the 100 damage proc as well.
I suppose going the route of Skull Basher does allow you to then build Abyssal Blade, which can lock down that BKB'd Slardar.
Yeah, definitely. And that's 100 damage as well. That's a lot to be able to contest with. And we're going to see the Nyx Assassin with the Lifesteal inside going into the Vendetta.
Well, it could be surprise time.
Yeah, he does have the money for a Blink Dagger.
I would very much like to see a Blink Dagger pick up on the Nyx Assassin.
This mid tower is still up. Tier 2's gone on the side lanes, but the Tier 2 stands.
Oh, Fabrice getting jumped on. Slight miscoordination there. Marcel was looking for the kill onto Bryce, and Magma just jumped out and went on Fabrice instead. They need to both get out of here. TP out by Marcel. He'll be safe, but can... Oh, as my mouse camera go weird. Yeah, Lifestealer has the amplifier on him, and now he's in a lot of trouble. He doesn't even have a...
Weave.
Yeah, and the weave. He doesn't even have Infest to get out of there. That was a very dangerous thing to do.
In tooth and talon.
Yeah, the miscoordination there, the Nyx saying, right, I can't do this, we need to leave, and the Lifestealer going, right, just go.
Going 2v5 in the enemy jungle can be worth it if you can catch someone and escape, which means you really need to catch them in this area on the map. Anything in that vicinity. When you're going over in this area, you start having problems of how the hell do I get away?
Yeah, especially with Lifestealer obviously using the Infest to get into the fight. He can't escape. He has no Blink
Gem
Dagger.
of True Sight as well now.
Who picked that up?
That was on the Dazzle.
The Dazzle.
Yeah, it's
Gem
on
of
the
True
courier
Sight
right now.
and 3 sentries. There is nothing that's going to escape this man's eye.
Well, at this point to me, really, Elysium need to find a good team fight, a good pick. Like the one on the top lane where they managed to take a full team weapon. We can see how that impacted the gold graph. That is a very dodgy gold graph.
Yeah, I don't actually think that it was trying to get the pick off onto the Beastmaster that decided it. It was the buyback from the Storm and the overextension from the Axe when the Slardar had been glimpsed away. And they literally just walked in one by one into the buyback Storm, who now picks up a sheep stick, which this is actually going to change the course of this next fight.
The sheep stick, if you can get it onto the Slardar or onto the Beastmaster before he roars, is going to be a very huge effect. And now, well, I would like to see the mid-tier 1 to go down. The Storm Spirit, the Shadow Shaman Ward should seal the deal here. There it goes, and a long-range jump onto Felix. The Tinker in a very bad way and will get shredded by magic. That is the kind of pick they needed. However, at this point that is a 4-man push on the top lane with the DDX.
Yeah, one of the things to note is, I don't, even though you are going for that you do have that Aghanims on the Tinker. I wouldn't like to see him using the missiles when he's outside of the high ground. All he does is reveal his position to a Storm Spirit.
That much is very true.
Or if he is going to use those missiles, he needs to use them when his blade
Speaking of
will
that,
cool
Axe
down.
has jumped in onto Marcel once more, and, well, Axe doesn't need no help. That's Axe's kill.
Yeah, Axe does not care about spiked carapace. He will cut you down. And Axe is now going for that scepter, so that kill threshold is going to increase.
Not by much, though. I believe it only increases by, like, 50? 100?
Actually, no, it increases it by
50 at rank 1.
It's 175 kill threshold increase.
I don't feel like that's worth it. That's a very small threshold increase.
And no, one of the things I think is going to be the big thing. It's the speed duration. 10 seconds of haste.
The speed increase, yes, I can grant you that, but the kill threshold increase isn't the main reason for buying it. And arguably, you could, as Roshan will go down to the Radiant this time, I could much prefer see on the Axe or Shiva's Guard.
Oh yeah, I completely agree with you there, that Shiva's Guard would be so much more effective in the situation.
Well, while Cull may give your team movement speed, having an AoE slow is just as good in my mind.
There might be the potential for the Tinker to go towards that, though he has got the ultimate orb up, so we'll be going for that Scythe of Ice.
And right now it's really a case of who gets the initiation. If Axe can initiate for THC, Elysium are going to have a lot of trouble responding. However, if Crew Blink Dagger, Marcel and Marcel and Lepas can find the initiation, that's a completely different ballgame. We do have AoE Doom effectively.
Really careful now.
Aye.
Being
If Crabs
up on
can
that
find the
high
Static
ground.
Storm, this is going to be
Tower
huge.
is under attack.
Yeah.
Dire structures are fortified. That's what the
Oh,
wispy
those
glow around the
rockets.
tower means.
If I'm not mistaken, don't they now,
Oh,
can they now
Marcel
see?
caught out of position.
Oh, the gem.
Yep.
I'm really surprised that he
Dire's middle
did go
tower
out
is
there. They
under
know
attack.
the Dazzle
It
has
has
a
no
gem. They
arms
have
to
seen
defend
him
itself.
being out, like, dewarding and scouting around.
Well, now this could
middle
potentially
tower
be the
is
tier
all
3.
alone in
The
the
pick
world.
off on Nyx
Being
may be all they
attacked.
needed, but in comes the long range jump from Storm,
middle
looking for
tower has
Zol.
fallen.
He does manage to dodge the first stun, but the roar is more than enough, and now comes in the AoE Doom. Magma trying to go tooth and nail with this, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near enough, and there is no buyback for the Storm Spirit. Noz does have the Aegis of the Immortal as well, I believe, and Magma will go down. Instant buyback,
Dire's bottom
and
tower
now
is under
pops the
attack.
Aegis.
They will be able to escape.
In the meantime,
Blink
Magma,
daggers.
he's back.
Blink
He's
daggers
looking for
everywhere.
anyone he can.
Yeah. But that's going to be a buyback down for the next fight for the Life Stealer. The Storm Spirit obviously was down for 100 seconds after that fight. And now we have the
Dire's
heads
bottom
up
tower
for the
is under
Tinker
attack.
and a
Run, little
BKB
bottom
for
tower.
the
Run.
Beastmaster. He's going to be alive to give this Inner Beast aura to the Slardar, so he can just bash down on everyone. And we've got a heart coming up for the Slardar right now.
If Slardar gets a heart up, it's going to be a very tall hill to climb. And take a look at the gold graphics. Now, it did go into Elysium's favour twice, but now, well, THC are clawing this back. This is a much closer game than anyone else can really say.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
And the
Storm
Spirit
will now
comes
buy back.
immediately, and they glimpse the axe away. The Storm Spirit needs to jump in right now, and to make this buyback really worth it.
Yeah, but he needs to find the right target. If he jumps on the axe, it's worthless. If he jumps on Zol, it could potentially be awesome. But Bryce will just instantly counter with the Roar.
Yeah.
They need to silence Bryce.
He is playing really, really well so far. Like, the Storm has the potential to completely disable 3 heroes. If he needs to use the Sheep or the Vortex on the Beastmaster. Otherwise, if he uses the Orchid, he'll just BKB and roar you anyway.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
And unfortunately for Elysium, the buyback is, in my mind, effectively wasted on this Storm now.
Yeah, the buyback is wasted on the Storm. The Life Stealer also has no buyback. They don't have
Dire's top
buyback on
tower
the
is under
cores.
attack. Oh, that's got to hurt.
Right now, Elysium, they need to find the right jump in. Do they have the Abyssal Blade? No, they don't. And Knowles is far tanky, so now in comes the jump in, looking for Zol. Zol will go down. No more Shallow Grave available. Now they're looking for the Tinker. Felix taking huge amounts of damage, but on the back foot. In comes all of the control onto Knoll. He will get ward trapped, and right now, this is exactly what Elysium need. If they can bring Knoll down, does he have the Aegis still? No, he doesn't. If they can bring him down before this, before he manages to kill off anyone, that's huge. But in comes one Cole. That's one death. Magma still chipping away. Bryce will go down. Now they're looking for Fabrice. Fabrice is one of two still standing. There's a Tinker somewhere in their base. The Tinker's a null factor. That's a 4 for 1 trade. Exactly what Elysium needed. That ward trap there was key.
That ward trap was beautiful. 2 ward traps in key fights by Laplace. Absolutely brilliant play on this Shadow Shaman.
Hands down, very effective. And, well, we say how close a game this is. Net worth is relatively all across the board. Supports the most rich one being the Shadow Shaman from Lapuis. He does have himself pretty much everything he could want. Blink Dagger, 4 staff, all the mobility as well as that mech. But
you get a Blade Mail.
The gold graph. Take a look at the gold graph. That is one hell of a graph.
Tower is under attack. That's not gonna hold.
That is a roller coaster ride, just all the way around.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I would love to see actually a Aghanims come up for the Dazzle.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
An Aghanims for Dazzle?
200 extra radius.
I don't think that's necessary. For the Dazzle, I'd prefer to see components for a Sheep Stick come up, or the Shiva's Guard we mentioned earlier. I don't think 200 radius is worth it for the Dazzle. And I do think it increases the duration, but yeah, armor per second increases to 1.5 instead of 1.25. It's still not worth it. I feel like a Shiva's or a Sheep would be better on him.
I don't agree with you on the Sheep for the simple fact they have a Sheep and a Tinker.
More than one sheep is always good.
Sheep and rearm. 1 second.
Okay, I'll grant you that one.
But I do agree, Shivas would be more useful than the Aghanim Scepter at this point. I just think it'd be fun to have almost a full team with all Aghanim Scepters.
Well, right now Elysium are looking to push their advantage. The gem is available for Marcel. He's going to try to pick off the bird. The bird will just be a constant pest.
Yeah, they need actually. I think Tinker really. Tinker either needs to defend hard or go top and just quickly get a march and push down that wave. And that's what I really think he should do in this situation. They know where yeah, there he goes up to the top lane. He's going to push down that wave and force someone to back.
Oh, Magma does have the Abyssal Blade now, and here comes the jump in on Bryce. If Bryce goes down here, this is going to be huge. They have no more Raw, no Shallow Grave either. Now they're looking for a tier 3. This is quite an easy tier 3 as well with no Bryce, but Zol does get glimpsed back, taking huge amounts of damage. All it'll take is one hit, and down goes the Dazzle. This is exactly where they need to be.
What defense do you think for off of these rockets?
Don't waste time hitting them.
The rocket's going to do a fair amount, sure, but at this point, if one of these racks goes down, it's huge. The rocket's continuing to fly.
They need to protect the racks. And where was the vision for that? The gem was what...
And now in comes the jump in from Magma and from Magic. Can they find anything here? Noel's getting caught into the AoE Doom. But if the axe goes down, that's going to be huge. There's no control available remaining. Dazzle does buy back. The Weave is going down, but down goes the Slaughter.
Yes.
My rares are looking safe. Big double impale from Marcel, and in comes Magma once again. He wants to bring down Felix. The Yules will delay this kill, but in comes Magic. Right click after right click. The Shallow Grave should be enough to keep him alive, at least until he gets to the fountain. And he will keep the Tinker alive. Talk about back and forth game. Down goes Magic to Zol. Big kill for Zol. But first set of racks are down in favour of Elysium.
Racks go down. But one of the things I want to point out is the Starder was hit by the Hex from the Sheep Stick and the Hex of the Shadow Shaman. So he spent 7 seconds as a fluffy little animal.
To be fair, that was how the game was going to go.
Yeah. But to be honest, you tend to expect to spend all of your time as a fluffy little animal when you're versus the Tinker. You don't really expect that from the other team. And the Lycia sitting on nearly 4,000 gold.
Oh, and Bryce getting caught out of position again by Marcel. But where's the follow-up? There's no follow-up. BKB popped by Bryce. Can they get anything here? Raw comes out onto Magma, surely? No, the damage just comes through. He's bashed out. But now comes the Raw. Shallow grave. Yes, it is huge. Bryce needs one more hit to kill him off. There it will go. Philiax now going to be the natural target. Shackles are there. That should be the end of this game. I don't think THC can hold their throne at this point.
We have buybacks on the Tinker, and the buybacks on the Storm, and the Lifestealer as well. So buybacks on everyone except the Disruptor. So even if they lose this fight, hey, and the Tinker needs to buy back.
Well, with Tinker buying back, this will be very hard to push in to get the throne. But Roshan isn't quite up yet. Everyone wants to ping Roshan and go for it. Roshan disagrees. Roshan will respawn when Roshan thinks it's time to respawn. Not when everyone wants him to.
Roshan pleases.
Yes.
He answers to nobody.
Pretty much. And still having the gem available for Marcel is certainly a nice bonus when it comes to dewarding purposes.
What are we gonna... I'm not sure what we're gonna see out of this Lifestealer right now.
For the Lifestealer, item-wise...
He did just pick up... What did he just pick up for 3,200? He did just pick up a Reaver, actually.
It'll be a heart.
Yeah, he's gonna build into that heart.
Well, once the heart's up, he's going to be nigh impossible to bring down, even for a Slardar.
Yeah, he's going to sit in at 3,500 health, and they know this Roshan's coming up soon.
It's a very long respawn for Roshan this time around. It's one of the maximum ones possible. This was a near 11 minutes, so it's going to be up sooner or later, and they know it. If it was nearer the 8, they would be sitting here wasting their time.
Also, if you'll notice that the Magma did pick up the Vitality booster, like not risking that Reaver and not having the money for the buyback.
Yes, very true on that one.
And he does set up that drum. He needs that Aegis.
But now with Roshan alive, both teams are rotating towards this pit. This could be very dodgy, and I don't think Magma and crew can bring this down in time.
The range on the weave.
It's huge, yes. It is very large. It's one of the longest ranges in the game.
That was a really nice
Roshan has fallen to the dire. Impressive.
And Lifestealer will find himself an Aegis of the Immortal, but in comes the Storm Spirit. He wants to try to bring down Fabrice, but Fabrice is stuck up here on this high ground with nothing to do. He will go down to the combo, but now Magma chopping away at Null. Null has no chance in hell of surviving this, but in come the rocket spam. They need Philiax to be picked off next. That's 2 kills. Buyback, however, by... Who bought back? Buyback by Nick's Assassin, and now he wants to get back into the mix. And Bryce will go down next. Triple kill for Magic. This should be game.
There are no buybacks left available for THC. And still, full buybacks out, except for the Nyx Assassin for Elysium. And your rares are back in your pocket.
My rares are safe! Which is all well and good, because I have too many rares.
It would have been a beautiful, beautiful little prize.
Don't even tempt me. Right now, the order of business for Elysium, they want this bottom tier 3. They want this bottom set of racks. But in comes a long jump from Magic. That should be Philiax going down.
The Nyx Assassin was already in that base.
Yeah, he would have snuck him through the mid lane.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
There are no buybacks. The Axe is up in 5, but this is going to be a second rack thing, and they can easily transition into a full Mega
Radiant's bottom barracks have left the building.
Aye, and the graph now, well, that is one of the most bizarre graphs I have seen in a long time, but now that's over 10k, near enough 11k advantage in favour of Elysium. As they bring down the final tier 3 of the game, they want to shred this final set of racks. In comes the last hurrah, though, from THC. In comes the blink forward, trying to bring down Magic with a stun, but it's not going to be enough. He does manage to get his BKB off last second. Now there's the AoE Doom onto Fabrice. Null trying to stun out everyone he can. Magma taking a fairly large amount of damage, does get forced stuffed out of the base. Sheep goes on to Bryce, and the chase is there, but Null will start bashing away. Magma in a very bad way, but he has an Aegis. He does not care. Lifestealer is back, and Bryce is in a whole world of hurt.
Not so fast.
Shallow won't be enough at this rate.
Yeah, we've got the hex and the shackles all back up for the roster, so the hold is there. But that is the game, and I have to hand it to THC. They
Radiant's
played
middle tower
that
is no more.
brilliantly for their lineup.
For their lineup, yes, I completely agree.
Dire victory, and well deserved.
The Axe did a hell of a lot of work. Dazzle, Shallow Graves were on point. The Beastmaster roars for where they were worked brilliantly. But Beastmaster as a hero in this lineup is my disparity. That and Tinker, if they had, I don't know, maybe a Visage instead of a Beastmaster or a Tinker. And for the final hero, what can I think of? The Venge again, I will point out one for merit. Not only would it bring the stun to the table, but a nice AoE aura.
I think the Axe was fine, but like you said, it's the Tinker and the Beastmaster that really didn't hold that much. A 3 and 17 Beastmaster is not really what you want to see. He rushed that Heaven's Halberd as much as obviously he could rush it into the BKB. There was no Axe, there was no Blink, Raw initiations. He just wasn't the initiator that they needed him to be. With your one role carry as a Slardar, you really can't risk him always initiating.
Aye, complete agreement. But on that note, do we have any more games tonight?
No, those are the our games for tonight. Obviously we will have the last day of the DotA2.fr Season 4, the last games of the season actually coming up tomorrow with Opa versus Exception. As we will actually be heading into the playoffs in the next few weeks. Obviously, the top 4 teams, which I'll just get for you. So it will be Zero Respect, ASR, Fura, and R2B moving into those top 4 roles.
R2B being Elysium being Play5, yeah?
Yes. With Elysium, Play5, R2B's win over THC here, they do move themselves out of a 4th place tie. So this win, at least one of these games, was really crucial for them, because otherwise they would have been put into a sort of a playoff bracket with OMG, who have played very well in the past when they're put up to the task. But it has been a brilliant few games today. The second, obviously, being a real nail biter towards the end with your rares just hanging on the edge of that cliff. The last piece of the rope was breaking, and then another rope was thrown, and your rares will stay firmly in your inventory.
Thankfully. On that note, if we don't have any more games to cast tonight, then I'm going to play some music, and I think that's cue for us to skedaddle. Yep.
We'll just do some obviously do some shout outs. If any of you still tuning in, want to check out these videos later on any of these games, all up on our YouTube, youtube.com/VicaraGaming. You can check us out when we're casting on Twitter at VicaraGaming. And where can they check you out, Blackadder?
They can find me at Mr_Blackadder on Twitter and on Twitch. I regularly play and cast Dota on my own channel, as well as the occasional bit of Hearthstone. That game is horribly addictive.